Hi Fam Bam, happy Healthy Hump Day. Today I want to talk to you about my 10 top habits for staying fit. And this is not exercise and eat well. These are 10 habits that have helped me stay fit even when I wasn't exercising or necessarily eating well. Sometimes fitness can be a hard thing, and there are many factors that involve making it harder. I will say that I am predispositioned to be on the leaner side. However, there was a point in my life where losing weight and staying healthy and having energy was really, really hard. You guys know that I suffered from adrenal fatigue, but also at the beginning of my health journey, probably the start of this all, I was so desperate to be in tip-top shape, and as an athlete that stopped abruptly, I started taking steroids and I started gaining weight and I started having a lot of energy and weight issues. But no matter what your genetics are or where you're at on your health journey, these top 10 habits for staying fit should help you dramatically. Number one on my list is keeping my metabolism balanced and healthy. When I was an athlete, I was also taking birth control, and I stopped abruptly, which led me to gaining weight pretty quickly. Because I was desperate and I was trying to get in shape really fast, I took the advice of a personal trainer to take these steroids, which screwed up my entire metabolism and my hormonal health, and that made it even worse. So there are certain things that we do that either contribute to a more effective metabolism, or certain things that we do that take away our metabolism's ability to digest and really process the things that it needs to, not just food, but cellular repair and breakdown as well. This is something that we can get into a little later. If you are interested in learning more about resetting your metabolism, stick that in the comments below. But that was something that I had to learn about and do, and it made a big difference right away. Number two on my list is I hustle. What I mean by this is when I'm moving about life, I really move, and with a lot of vigor, and I have this thing about walking, like I can't walk slow. And if you ever see me in a parking lot, if I have to park far, I typically end up running, and I probably look really silly, but it just feels good to hustle. And I remember this one time I was moving from, I think, the second floor to the fourth floor, and I had a bunch of friends and clients helping me, and I was really like trying to get the heavy stuff, like the books and just whatever was heavy. I was asking them to leave the heavy stuff to me, and a lot of them were guys, so they were like, why are we here if you're gonna get the heavy stuff? And I was just hustling up and down, and two of them were taking a break, and finally one of them said, what are you doing? Like, why are you killing yourself over this? And I said, well, I don't want to have to work out later. And it was like this light bulb came on their head, and they were like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. And so we were like fighting for the heavy stuff. So whether it's cleaning the house or chasing after my kids or carrying stuff like groceries or anything heavy, I try to do everything with good form, and I do it to hustle because I know it's going to help my metabolism, and it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. You guys know I don't like that. Like, what do I say? Getting two targets with one arrow? I don't know, I want to think about something cool other than killing two birds with one stone. So if you can think of another phrase that means the same thing, let's try to brainstorm there, because I want something totally new. But obviously, it's super effective and super proficient. Number three I have is 0 crutches. I have my list behind there. What I mean by crutches are things that I would lean on for support and energy or fat loss. So like caffeine pills, dietary pills, like those boosters. Like what stuff do they have out now? Like green tea pills were like really popular for some time. But there's a lot of different like dietary things that are supposed to help you out, boost your energy. And the truth is, you really want to get your body to do that on its own. If it's leaning on anything, it's probably screwing up the balance of the system, be it hormonally or metabolically, and you're going to become dependent on those things. The only caveat I have to that is supplements for health is super important. So at least in my opinion, I notice a huge difference when I don't supplement versus when I do. So it is super important for me to have good nutrient health in my body, but that's not part of these 10 habits. So we'll go into supplements later if that's something you guys want to understand in what I take and why I take it. Number 4 on my list is sleep. I care about my sleep, and I care about it a lot. To be honest, I was never a sleep person. I don't really care to sleep. Like in my mind, I think sleep's a waste of time because we only have 24 hours in a day and I wish I didn't have to spend 8 of it sleeping. But I do realize how important sleep is to your health, your metabolism, your hormone system, your energy levels, just everything is so important to get good sleep. So I treasure and value my sleep. Alongside with sleep, number 5 is I stay hydrated. Our body is like 80% water, I mean, somewhere around there. So it's so important to replenish like what we're mostly made up of and to replenish it with good water. I've had people tell me I'm a water snob and it's true. I'm really picky about my water. I don't like stuff that's chlorinated. I don't like stuff that's been chemically treated. I really want the best water possible as often as possible. I mean, if it's what I've got, then I'm not going to complain, you know, but for me, when I have a choice and I'm at home and I pick the water that's in my house, it's really important to me to get good quality water and to make sure that I'm not just putting like salt and chemicals and chlorine in my body. Number 6 on my list is I try to enjoy, like stress less. So if something's stressing me out, remove it. If I can't remove it, change my mind about it. There's that like serenity prayer, right? Grant me the things to accept the things I cannot change and the wisdom or whatever. Grant me the courage to accept the things I cannot change, to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, or something like that. But stressing less is huge because our mood creates chemicals, and those chemicals affect the way that our body feels and functions. So if you're stressed out, your body is in a constant state of stress, and so it puts you on a cellular level in stress. You're not metabolizing well, your energy is not being used up well, and you're creating a lot of hormones, including cortisol, which I think it's a common knowledge, but if it's not, cortisol is actually a big fat storing hormone. So the more stressed out you are, the more cortisol you release, the more your body is likely to store fat. And I think it's there because it's trying to store that energy in case the stress continues, so the body can handle whatever's to come. But obviously, if we have the ability to change that, we don't need to put our bodies under that situation, and stress can definitely make a massive difference alone in how healthy or how fit our body is able to become. Number 7 is I avoid refined sugars and hydrogenated fats as much as possible. It's not just like cake or candy or ice cream. Those are refined sugars, but I also mean like white breads, white rice, white pastas. I'm super picky about it. Like even if I go to a restaurant and they don't have a brown rice option, I'm not going to get rice. I'm just not going to eat it. White grains are bleached and they act like simple sugars in our body, which hence spikes the blood sugar and just screws up everything. So I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Also, hydrogenated fats. Hydrogenated fats are basically bastardized fats, which means they've been altered in a more complicated sense in its chemical structure. And when I was researching this, it was explained to me that basically what happens is the chemical structure of the fats, when it's heated or fried or any of those things, it starts to change similar to like plastic. If fats were simplified, then they move and digest easily through the bloodstream, but when we like have high cholesterol fats or hydrogenated fats, greasy fried food, they get more complicated and weird in their shape, and then they kind of start to clog, hence building up cholesterol. It's just really hard on the system. It kind of cakes the system with like, I mean, I just imagine what lard looks like. It just kind of cakes it, keeps your cells from being able to like absorb efficiently and process sugar efficiently. It just leaves this entire mess. So staying away from hydrogenated fats is huge on my list. And don't be fooled by things that say baked. Typically they put the oils on and then they bake it afterwards, so the fats are getting heated anyways. Yes, it is less oil or less fat, but you're still consuming that hydrogenated fat, which is really not preferable. Number 8 is play. Play should be like at the top of my list, but all these things are super important. And if you're not working out especially, find something to do to move your body, whether you're playing tennis or gardening or going for a walk with a friend. I like doing handstands and going in the ocean, swimming, paddleboarding, surfing, kayaking, whatever. Do something that you really enjoy and that you love doing to move. I really love inversions, like doing handstands and cartwheels. So when we take the kids to the park, I don't care that I look silly. I love doing them and it gets my body to move, and at the very least, it's a little bit of a form of exercise. Number 9, I try to really minimize the amount of chemicals or toxicity I expose myself to. Of course, it's impossible to get away from everything. There's chemicals and toxicity everywhere. And to some extent, you know, stress is good for us, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally. I just try to reduce the amount of work that my body has to do. It's got a lot to adjust to already when it comes to this lifestyle, the pace of things, and just how our culture's evolved in general. So if I have a choice when it comes to body care, cleaning products, food things, even sheets and towels, I really like to keep things as clean as possible. Organics, very simple ingredients, not too many, like not food coloring at all. I don't know why food coloring like bothers me. Even when it says things like natural flavors or artificial flavors, that's a whole list of things that have been considered generally regarded as safe, and it means they don't have to disclose what those ingredients are, which is why it's just like natural flavors. And that sort of doesn't sit well with me. Things like MSG used to be generally regarded as safe, and then it takes a certain amount of people to have issues with a certain ingredient before they pull it off that list and have to disclose it. So when things aren't crystal clear, I'm also very wary of that. The last thing on my list is no drinking, no smoking, no drugs, period. I do drink a little wine here and there. There's special occasions, and I typically don't have more than 1 glass. So I don't get drunk. I don't like altering my state. I don't like being inebriated or not being able to make clear decisions or remember what I'm doing. It's just, it doesn't feel good. And there's all this like extra stuff at the end that just makes it not worth it. Be it a hangover, what it does to your health and your metabolism, just the expense and the amount of time that's wasted on it. I'm not into that stuff, and I understand that a lot of people are, and that's fine. It's just something that I don't relate to. I will say when I was in college, I used to love drinking a lot. It is quite funny. I get sometimes when people get intoxicated. It's just not my thing, and I just realized my health is so much better without it. So those are my top 10 habits for staying fit. If you guys want to add anything to this list, of course, stick it below. We're a learning community. That's what I love so much about you guys. And I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, always be sure to give it a thumbs up, because I really want to listen to you guys. Any ideas or any questions or any requests, stick them below. I'm listening to you guys, and we're here learning how to simplify our life so we can create a life worth living. If you're new, thanks for checking out this channel. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you back here for Freedom Friday. Until then, be good, be great, be grateful. I'm grateful for you. Have an excellent day.